It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 193. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. We're talking Golden Gopher football this week with Golden Gopher defensive end Jaxon Howard, a hometown kid from Crystal who attended Robbinsdale Cooper High School. He registered a pair of sacks in last Friday night's 24-6 dominating win over Nebraska. In all, the team set a program record with an incredible 9 sacks in that win. Up next, a road date to Iowa. So a lot to talk about with Jaxon Howard when he joins us. Our Go Gopher podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get a confidential, no-cost, no-obligation business valuation started today. Hey, make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. The Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm is also presented by onX Maps. Find out how to download the onX Fish app for free by listening to the Go Gopher Podcast. Longtime Gopher sports supporter Cub is a proud sponsor of the Go Gopher Podcast. In a hurry? Don't worry, Cub delivers. Get fresh meat, produce, everyday essentials, and more delivered to your door. Cub is the official grocer of the Golden Gophers and proud to support Gopher athletics for over 20 years. Shop happy. We're podcasting episode 193 from the Aquarius Home Services studios. Also, our thanks to Affinity Plus for providing a gift card to Jaxon Howard this week. Affinity Plus, proud to support Gopher student athletes. We invite you to subscribe to the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to subscribe and free to listen at any time. That means you can go back and listen to previous Go Gopher podcast. Last week, for example, we talked Gopher football with the Gopher Guru, Daniel House, at gophersguru.com. Check out all of his great work. This week, it's Golden Gopher football once again. We have a visit from defensive end Jaxon Howard, who will join me next.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
Know what happy is? Veggies. Crunchy, crispy, colorful, seasonal, aromatic, juicy veggies. Produce at its freshest. Cub produce. Best produce, period. Guaranteed to make you happy or will replace it. No questions asked. Because good produce makes veggie lovers happy. Just remember, fresh, happy. Stale, limp, and wilted, not happy. You want to make a veggie lover happy? Shop Cub for produce and shop happy.
It's episode 193, the Go Gopher Podcast. We're talking Gopher football. Minnesota defensive end Jaxon Howard with us, and welcome to the show. Thanks for hopping into the podcast studio and ready to roll here.
Thank you. I'm excited. Let's get to it.
Yeah, you're wearing number 1 jersey here. I like it, a little hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good look right there. Is that NIL stuff, or is that just your own little design?
Just my own little design.
Nice.
I got my own personal logo on here as well.
Yeah. I see that. It's a football, but it says JH on it.
Yeah,
I
you
like
know what
it.
I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that man, when it gets this cold outside, sometimes you just throw on any hoodie you can, especially when you got to leave early in the morning for lift and practice. So
yeah, sometimes,
if you see me on campus and I look a little bummy, just know I'm trying to stay warm. So.
Stay warm and stay awake, because you guys, your day with the football team starts early, right?
Oh yeah.
Like what's the average wake up time for you guys?
I would say about 5:45, depending on the day of the week. Usually Mondays and Tuesdays we're up a little bit earlier, and then I should say Tuesdays and Wednesdays are. Thursdays and Fridays you get a little bit more sleep, especially as it gets closer to the game. But you get up early, and a lot of guys actually get up earlier than they're supposed to, just because I think the culture that we've built here is just, get up a little bit earlier, get your stuff going so you can be able to be prepared for practice and what you got to do to get everything, get the job done.
Yeah.
So,
are you selling those sweatshirts? You should put those on a webpage. I bet people buy them.
I should. Yeah, I kind of.
It's legal now. You can do that stuff.
Yeah, I dabbled into it a little bit. I think, I might get into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
My dad helps me out with a lot of that stuff, but Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. We'll keep you posted, and we'll certainly talk about your dad and your family coming up a little later in the podcast. But let's put it this way: if you keep getting 2 sacks every game like you did last week, you're going to sell a lot of sweatshirts, probably, right?
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. Speaking on that, I mean, that was just a crazy experience already. And as far as what me and Carter have been able to do in our room and the rest of the defense, that's an expectation, is to make sure that we get the quarterback down. And, that's always been a goal for us. But I think the biggest thing is executing what you have to do gets you the opportunity to be able to get the quarterback down in situations like that, for sure.
9 sacks program record. They didn't really keep sack records until starting in 1977. So some of the old timers might contend that Bobby Bell might have had 9 sacks himself in a game way back. The legendary Bobby Bell, maybe the greatest Gopher ever in terms of pure athleticism and production on the field. But since 77, that's the most in any game. Did you feel like as the game was unfolding and all of a sudden one came and then another came, was it just kind of a feeding frenzy? You kind of built on each other's success?
It was, and I think the biggest thing was that we weren't really chasing sacks. It was more we were chasing the football. And somehow we got 9 sacks but no sack fumbles. So the first thing that Coach Collins said to us when we met as far as this week was, hey, that's cool. We got the 9 sacks, but we got to get the ball out, guys. And so, cool. We hit a new milestone, but now we got another one.
Yeah.
Now we want to be able to be, that team that gets the most Gopher takeaways. And I think that's just the cool thing about our defensive DNA is that, we're fiending for the football, and takeaways is what wins football games. So that's been our thought process this week. Especially, it's not about the quarterback in reality; it's about the ball. And as far as here at the University of Minnesota, the ball is the program. The offense is supposed to protect the ball, and the defense we're supposed to get the ball. So that's going to be a focus for us this week, as it is every other week. It's harped on all the time. So the ball is it's what we have to go get.
And each week has become, in college football, no matter where you look around, each week is its own entity. Because you look the week before, you guys turned Purdue over 4 times, but probably give up more yards than you wanted in that. The offense maybe didn't produce as much as it wanted in that, but there were key plays made at the right times. You had the interception return for a touchdown, and then other things happen in that, and you get the win. Right. And then last week it was pure domination. And then you look down the conference standings, and Purdue is shut out. What a thing. Week to week, it's a new. It's probably why PJ Fleck says it's 0-0 starting on Monday, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think a cool thing when it comes to that, Coach Fleck talks about this thing called 78%, which includes the ball, tackling, explosive plays, and somehow, for some reason, when he always puts the numbers together, they end up being numbers, if it's not 78%, something close to that. And realistically, football games really come down to those 3 specific, categories. And so being able to win those small margins is really just, after you see teams win games, well, Coach Fleck will be like, all right, let's look. Did so-and-so team have more takeaways? Yep. That's probably why they won the game. So, and just a lot about field position. Although we didn't, we might not have scored on a down, we got them in bad field position where they had to punt the ball to us, and we get the ball on the plus 40 for our offense. That's crucial and necessary. So, and I think that's just a cool thing about our team is that I've been able to learn all that in my little amount of time being here. So
yeah, complementary football is a big talk around here about in terms of sometimes you force a punt, and that's fine. And then that means now you've done your job, and now it's the offense's turn to do its job. And sometimes the offense has to punt and say, okay, you go, we stalled out, you go get a stop, and we'll get it back. And when those things mesh, that's what happens like did on Friday, right?
Right. Agreed, yeah.
When you work like that was working, 9 sacks, you had 2, Anthony had 2, Carter I think officially now got 2.5 in that, and Devin got 1, and then the Matt Kingsbury one was I loved all of your guys' sacks, but that was a thing of beauty when he just crushed the running back and then crushed the quarterback. He just ran over everybody. So it was pretty cool. But as you as that was going, did you have an idea? I'm guessing you didn't know what the record was and didn't care at the point, probably found out after the game?
Yeah, I never knew about the record. I actually never really thought about it. But when we heard about it after the game, when Coach Fleck told us all, I was astonished, honestly, and I was so excited. And the first thing I did when I got into the locker room, actually, I found had to go find Carter because he played an amazing game. And that's just being able to show how much he's grown as a person and a player. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And the fact that we were able to hit that milestone is awesome.
What's the word I'm forgetting now? The word that Coach Fleck has used about being happy for your teammates that you guys have used as kind of a motto here.
Mudita.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And that kind of means you soak everything in, but if your teammate does something well, enjoy it for him as well. And I think it's especially true in your guys' case, right? You were on with Justin Guard after the game too,
yes.
And one of the last things, my favorite part was at the very end when he said, you got to go get out of this crowd because you got to be healthy for Iowa City. And your comment to close the interview was, we just love playing football, that's awesome. But I also thought earlier in that interview you had said that you were more happy when Carter got the sack than when you got the sack.
I was, yeah.
And I think that's what he's talking about, right, when he uses that word?
Yeah, it's exactly that. And I think it also just comes down to selflessness as far as our team. And, sometimes I might not be the one making the play, but I could help somebody make the play. We talk about whenever we run blitzes, your job in the blitz to either make the play or you feed the rest of the blitz. And so just thinking from that point of view is just like, hey, we're going to win this game no matter what is what we think every game. It's just I might not be the one making the play every time, but I'll make sure that I'm doing my job to make sure that everyone else around me makes their plays.
Yeah, and there's sometimes, right, where you're not even in the game, but Carter might be in there, or Anthony, and I don't know how all of you guys rotate in there, but you guys obviously know. And you're watching from the sideline, getting a little breather while someone else is taking your spot. And sometimes it happens when you're just a cheerleader too, right? And that's fun too.
Yeah, exactly that. It's just, realistically here at the University of Minnesota, we know that whoever's out there on the field at that point is trusted to do their job, and they've been able to show that in practice. And so, we have no worries out there. So, when I'm not in and someone else is in, all I know is cool. I'm watching them, knowing that they're doing their responsibility. If they need to come on out, I'll go back in for them. That's just something that we know as a team, and we've been able to cultivate together.
Your in position is called what? The 5 technique?
I play the rush end position.
The rush end.
Yep.
So is that you and Carter basically are kind of rotating in that spot?
Yes, sir.
And is that the same thing that I remember when Boye Mafe, it was before you were here, Boye Mafe and Thomas Rush,
yep.
both, obviously Thomas got a chance at the NFL and was on a roster for a while, and Boye's eating it up, right? He's having a great career. But you think about two guys like that playing together, giving up some reps. I'm sure everyone would like to play every play.
Right.
But in the long run, over the course of a game, getting a breather, rotating in, depending on the specific situation, maybe it's okay. This is a case where, Jackson's skills are better for this, 3rd and 10, and maybe it's a different situation. Hey, let's get Carter in there because his skill set might be different. Talk me through competing with, not against, and all of what we've just been talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, when it comes with me and Carter, when Coach Fleck had mentioned that, it's a similar situation as far as how Boye and Thomas were, it was not that he was comparing us to them as players, but more just the style as, we both play that position, and being able to just, hey, one guy's in at this point, the other guy's in here, being able to just share reps while also complimenting each other. There's certain packages where me and Carter might be on the field at the same time, like how there was last week.
Right.
But just, being able to be that just sometimes if I'm there, you might get one type of player. Carter's out there, you might get a different type of player. And just, I think it's just awesome to be able to have the thing that we have and just continue it for awesome amount of time.
and just the versatility with what you can throw at a team and what have you. The week before Purdue, we mentioned you guys probably gave up more yards than you wanted, but you made big plays. You won the turnover battle thanks, to some big plays in the secondary. But no sacks. You were in the backfield a lot, not just you personally. I'm saying you guys as a defense, but for whatever reason, Brown was able to break contain a couple of times, and he's a pretty athletic kid.
Right, agreed.
Made some plays. So you go from 0 to 9. Can you put your finger on what the difference was? Was there something strategically? Was it just something that, tonight we're going to tackle and land it? And how do you explain it?
So I think from our defensive ends point of views, I think a lot of the time we're really just whoever was a contained rusher. You don't have to be a defensive end to be a contained rusher, but just the fact that in order to squeeze the pocket, you need to get a little bit more depth. And, with the previous quarterback at Purdue, we were still getting deep in the pocket, but he, sometimes he would be 9 yards deep and still going outside of the pocket.
Yeah.
So being able to be more quarterback pocket aware, I think was something that helped us this past week versus Nebraska.
Yeah.
But just I think that and just being able to just watch a lot of film. We got in together a lot as a defensive line. We get together every Thursday night before games and just, talk everything out, our plays and stuff. But I think from a pass rushing point of view, I think being able to be quarterback aware has helped us out a lot.
Look, too, like maybe 1 or 2 of those sacks, and I know it's a whole, you work as a team talking about within the defense complementary, but 1 or 2 of those sacks, he held the ball a little extra, right? I mean, you guys weren't, in a normal play, might not have gotten the sack, but it looks to me like that probably means the coverage on the back end, so all of a sudden those guys get some credit for some of your successes too, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. I think, the front seven and the secondary definitely have to complement each other. If we don't get to the quarterback fast enough, they're going to have to, cover for longer. Vice versa, if they can't cover for as long, it's going to take us a little bit longer to get to the quarterback. So being able to complement each other, and I think it's just a type of rhythm that's been able to be cultivated throughout practice, throughout camp. I mean, it's been something that's been going on forever, and that's what I love about this connected team, this connected defense.
It's a pretty good little rivalry has kind of kindled here with Minnesota and Nebraska. The Gophers have won 6 straight, and that bugs them down there, I know. But in the grand scheme of things and in the micro of things, that was a big win for you guys. I mean, that's a fork in the road part of the season, right? Because even you look at where you're at, that's just past the midway point. So do you guys get to take a second? I know it's on to Iowa, and we're going to talk about the Hawkeye game here in a minute. But did you get a minute to realize the magnitude, one, of the domination part of it, which was fun, but actually the literal part of how that can help elevate the rest of this season?
Yeah, I mean, for us, realistically coming down to it, whenever you think about a Big Ten game, it's going to be a tough one. And so being able to come out of that game knowing, hey, all right, we have some pretty good strong suits here, especially when you're able to, fix up small details that you didn't really do too good in the last week. But just, with us from our point of view as far as the Big Ten, we know every Big Ten game is going to be a battle no matter what, because that's what's expected of our league. And so, we were happy about what happened to Nebraska. We had our 24-hour rule after the win, and now it's eyes set on our next opponent, which is Iowa this week.
How about the crowd Friday night? What a great atmosphere, huh?
Man, our crowd is awesome, man. I've played at a lot of different places, and this is definitely one of the top ones, honestly. I played at LSU my freshman year. Went to away games like Ole Miss, Missouri during the middle of the day. You wouldn't think, University of Missouri would be that loud, but let me tell you, it got a little loud.
Old Faroe Field, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But our student section, our fan base is definitely up there, and I think a lot of the time, University of Minnesota's fan base gets overlooked. Mm-hmm. But I gotta say, man, I'm so proud of our fans, and just through thick or thin, we might have lost the game in the past, but Dave came back out rooting hard for us, and we're honestly so very happy to have them.
Yeah, I think too, the way that the stadium's constructed, it's loud. Like it's 50,000. There's places that seat 100. There's places that seat 80. But it's for 50,000, man. It is loud down there.
Oh yeah,
like it is loud.
Oh yeah, when it's third and long and you can't hear your homeboy next to you. When I'm in a 5 technique and I'm trying to talk to the 3 tech and he can't hear me, oh, it gets bad. But I will tell you, we definitely get prepared for that in all areas when you play for Minnesota football. If you're not, they blast the music extremely loud in the weight room, and Coach Nickel makes sure everybody yells when we echo the call. And then we do the same thing during practice, loud music. You should have heard what was in the background in practice today. It was, it gets you prepared.
Yeah, because you're going into another Hornets Nest this weekend, and we'll talk about, like I said, that in a minute. The students rush the field. You're talking to Justin Gard on the radio after the game, trying to dodge students. But isn't that kind of what it's all about, college football? Like those are that's part of what you want to play for, right?
It's definitely what it's all about, especially – I think one of the coolest things about experiences like that is that, you can say what you want, but when you're down there and there's students that came up to you and say your name before they ask you for a picture, who I am, that's an awesome feeling. And just, I feel like our fan base and our student section is so invested that it makes the experience as a student athlete even better.
Yeah, no doubt. I was I rewatched the TV replay the other day, and they were showing flashes of it. And Drake is down there. Man, he's got everybody. You know, he just one after another selfie. People coming up, and I suppose that's the life of being the quarterback. But what a cool experience for everybody, including those students, right? I mean, you know, some of those dudes and some of those students are going to be talking about that. Hey, remember when we rushed the field at USC last year, Nebraska this year, and hopefully there's more to come down the road and big wins. But those are what memories are made. Right?
Oh yeah.
Let me talk about a sponsor real quick. We're with Jaxon Howard here. It's episode 193, the Go Gopher Podcast. Summer is definitely winding down. We'll have ice on the water here soon, but you can still get out on the boat. And when you do, use the onX Fish app. It'll help you find the next best bite. The Fish app offers the most comprehensive fishing tool for increasing your success. Use the Fish app to find new places to fish. You can sort by lakes. You can sort by species, abundance, trophy, and keeper potential. onX Fish also shows you hot spots, lake-by-lake regulations, private and public land ownership info, and more. Download onX Fish on the App Store or go online, onxmaps.com/fish, to get more information about the app that is changing the game. So if you're out fishing, try that, the onX Fish app from onX Maps, and you can get a free 7-day trial by going to that onxmaps.com/fish. Jaxon Howard, you mentioned you played for a year at LSU, so let's talk a little about that, because it is a piece of your history. And I know you and I were just talking before we came on the air that the defensive line coach at the time, you guys hit the bond. That is at LSU now I'm talking, and that is kind of what drew you there. And then in this winding road of transfer portal now and different things, you're back in your home city. But take me all the way back to high school. You're the number 1 ranked high school player in your class. That one, congrats. That's got to be a nice, cool feeling to do that. Lots of teams are coming after you. What was the recruiting process like just generally? How many different places did you go visit? Your dad was a former, big-time player at Stanford, and he's, your high school coach. I'm sure he's helping in this whole process. Take me through the whole thing.
Well, to answer your question about how many schools I went to, I probably visited in person maybe like 20 schools.
Wow.
I wanted to do my due diligence. I felt as though, if these coaches are reaching out to me, talk to me all this, how much they can, like I got to be able to, go show them my due diligence and just being able to get to their spot. But, I did all my visits. I saw everything I saw, and I honestly felt like LSU was the best fit for me. And in reality, I really wanted to go play for the defensive line coach there, Coach Kane. As an 18-year-old freshman, I had to learn pretty new that the football game is kind of just it's a little bit different than people think when they get into it. Coach Kane got an opportunity to become the defensive line coach for the Denver Broncos. First of all, as a player, I could never say anything wrong about that. I mean, that's a life-changing opportunity for him, but not only just him, but his family as well. So, things happen.
You get to campus, though, and the guy that you go there for to play is gone, 2 months into your time?
Yep.
So all of a sudden you're like, okay, I got a new coach. Drops in from the sky.
There, and then, I got told I was playing the jack linebacker position, so I got moved to the outside backer room with Coach John Jancic, awesome guy. And I was with him throughout spring ball. And then, we go through the summer, I'm still expected to play jack. And then we're going into fall camp, and then our new defensive line coach had gotten sick. I can't remember what type of illness it was, but so Coach Jancic, the outside backers coach, had to move to the defensive line, and then we had an analyst come to the outside backers room, Coach Bob Diaco, one of the best coaches I've ever had. He's actually got a really good resume.
Yeah, he was
as well.
Notre Dame D coordinator.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of the Hawkeyes, he was a linebacker for Iowa way back in the day. Yeah.
He was an awesome coach for me. And then, defensively as a whole, we didn't do too best to where our whole defensive staff had gotten fired for the most part. And so when that came through, luckily Coach Diaco was still a part of the staff because he got promoted to special teams coordinator at the time. But then I got moved with a new coach, new D-line coach that came in, and then I got moved to the true defensive end position. And at the time, I was basically told, hey, if you can't put on this certain amount of weight, you probably won't be able to play the true 5. So I had to come to a realization there. And then, as far as, there were some things back at home, family-wise, that I was just like, maybe, I want to be closer to home. And in reality, the Gopher sounds pretty good, man. And just, I think I also may have, I wouldn't say overlooked, but I didn't really think about the things that University of Minnesota could do for me, not just football-wise, but also football-wise. They put guys in the league as well. And so I think the luckiest thing for me is probably being able to – I didn't know where I was going to go going into the portal, and so when I went, luckily, Coach Fleck was able to reach out to me once my name was officially in the portal. And, a lot of guys don't get that opportunity when they go into portal to even have a spot to land, nonetheless being able to go back home. So for me, I'm blessed, and now I get to wear this Block M on my chest, and I'm honestly so proud.
And has it been what you thought it'd be coming back? Now you got family that can hop in the car and come watch your home games in a, 8-minute drive or 10-minute drive?
Yeah, it's different. I think not only just the family aspect, but also the people-wise around here, a little bit different. Not like a bad different, but just I think it's a little bit more fitting for who I am as a person.
Here in Minnesota?
Correct, yes, sir.
Part of that, you think, because this is where you grew up and this is kind of the guy you are, do you think that's part of what the fit was better maybe?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I grew up all around kind of Minneapolis, St. Louis Park, Eden Prairie, and then I moved towards the New Hope, Crystal, Robbinsdale area. Minnesota's me, man, and I love this place. And one day when I get older, I'm definitely gonna settle down here. I mean, this is just a place to be, and it's definitely the place to raise a family. I think, especially if you get around a nice little cul-de-sac with a couple other families, young age.
Put a little basketball hoop out there.
That's exactly what I had.
You got it. What would you say? What did you learn at LSU though? It doesn't sound like that's a decision you regret. It's just a piece of who you are. You probably took some things from there. I mean, that's a football factory place. Like, it's different probably. What do you think you took most from your experience there?
Well, yeah, no, I definitely don't regret going there. I found so much value in going there. I think some of the takeaways I took was just like, hey, like, you're a ball player. I was able to go. I got there. I wouldn't say I didn't go against a lot of big time competition in high school, but it's a little bit different going from Minnesota high school offensive lineman to my first practice. I'm going against Will Campbell. And I did get put in the dirt. I'm not gonna lie, but that was a big growing point for me because at the time there was a big gap that I had to close quickly, especially in what I wanted to do as far as playing that jack position there. And it taught me a lot about myself and my body as well, and just like it also helped me learn a lot of moves. I played, so I ended up redshirting my freshman year, so I played a lot of scout team. And I think I took scout team pretty seriously to where, like, going against Emory Jones and Will Campbell every day, you can either do two things. You can either go ahead, throw your new moves, even though they probably might not work right away, which they didn't most of the time. Or, or I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway.
Or go through the motions and get your brains beat in.
Yeah, I know. So no matter what, I was going to go throw a random spin move on Will. It wasn't going to work, but it kind of taught me those movements, and that was that experience that I needed. And so I found a lot of value being there, and just the players that were there helped me elevate myself as a player, but also as a person. I built a lot of great friendships there, and it was an awesome experience.
And now, so you're here. Obviously, this is year 2 now for you. What is your favorite part about being part of this culture? Because it's a unique culture as well with what PJ Fleck tries to instill in you guys, and really some of what he requires of you guys, because some of what he wants his players to do is above and beyond. It's not the minimum, like, hey, just do this and that's it. There's some expectation that you guys will impact the community, do well in the classroom, be good football players, attend certain events, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I think when it comes to, the community stuff and the events and stuff, yes, some of that stuff can be quote-unquote mandatory, but it's something that you knew was a part of your decision in coming here. Like, you're coming to the University of Minnesota, you're going to give back to, children that have, certain things that they're going through in their lives. Like, that's what we're about here. And I found that really, really, like, touching to my heart I love giving back to my community, and I think being here at the University of Minnesota under what Coach Fleck has been able to build here is that no matter what, we're going to teach you different ways to give back to community, because that's what we're all about here, and that's your expectation. And so I think the biggest thing as far as what I really love from being here is probably my teammates. Mm-hmm. I got some awesome teammates, some crazy ones too. And just being able, I think the fact that Coach Fleck has us around each other so much, especially just things that aren't even football, has been able to put you in situations where you build friends with people that you don't really think you might. Like last night, I was getting seafood with Jerome Williams, who's an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Usually O linemen and D linemen don't get together too much. But that's just that different thing that we've been able to build together.
Yeah, and here I observe this team is. All of these teams over the years have been close, but I see how guys respond to you. You're a leader on this team. I can just see that. You're kind of a big personality. You've got a great smile. Has that always kind of been your style, or is this something you've grown into as you've gotten older?
I think that's kind of always been my style. It depends on the situation. A lot of the times, like on the field wise, who I am on the field is completely different than who I'm off the field. I'm extremely goofy. I play around a lot off the field. When I'm in the field, sometimes I get a lot quieter, unless I make a play. But other than that, I get quieter. I'm extremely focused because, like, especially here, like you get a third down install on Wednesday morning. I get quiet and I start thinking about, all right, cool, I got this, I got that, cool. Where's the running back? Where's the tight end? Cool. But, I think that's something I've always been like, and I think that's just who I am.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Guys respond to it. There's no doubt about it. How much of that, too, do you think has your family been part of it, and particularly your dad, Willie, who, as we mentioned, was an All-American player, played for the Vikings, which he's from California, played at Stanford. My hunch is his time at the Vikings is why he's here today and why you're here sitting in this podcast studio in the long roadmap of it all, I suppose, talking about it. But how has he influenced your life and kind of helped with this leader that you've become and this football player and man that you've become?
Thank you. Yeah, I think my dad's definitely showed me a lot about who I want to be. And I think as a young kid with a father that's actively in their life, a lot of the time they look up to their dad and want to be a spitting image of them. And, I think there's so many good things that my dad's done in my life to where, like, yeah, that makes me want to be exactly like him. Like, we started a turkey drive when I was probably in like 4th grade, where we're just going out giving families some turkeys that are in need. And I think that's been able to just help cultivate who I am. My dad's a goofy person as well.
Yeah.
A little bit more serious than I am.
Yeah.
But, there's just so much that I've learned from him, and still so much I want to learn from him. Him and my grandpa have taught me about ice fishing. And I love it.
You need that Onyx Fish app is what you need.
Yeah, that's what I need, honestly.
So you guys go out ice fishing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's we went out with there's a company out here called Ottertail County.
Oh, yeah.
Who took us out of the whole D line. We didn't catch much that time. That's what happens in fishing, but that was a crazy experience. I'm planning on getting some guys to go with me. Depends on if they're willing to go 5 hours up north. But we're trying to go to Lake of the Woods, and that's where you slam some real fish.
Yeah, ice fishing or summertime?
Ice fishing.
Yeah, man, you got to get one of those ice houses. Then, right?
Yeah, we got an ice house, and I say it's my dad and my grandpa's, but it's got like 5 beds in it. I got a TV that I can put my Xbox in there because I love ice fishing, but I also
there's some downtime there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if I'm not catching, I'm hopping on the Xbox and playing GTA 5.
Yeah.
The offline version.
That's awesome. That's great. You mentioned your dad was goofy. I interviewed you a couple of weeks ago for our pregame show, and you had mentioned, let's see, he was the principal. He's the athletic director now. Is that right? Sir. And he's still the football coach at Robbinsdale Cooper, where you went to high school. And I joked, not knowing where you were going to take the answer, but I joked that, so that's one time you want to go to the principal's office. No one wants to get sent to the principal, but when it's your dad, you're going to go hang out. And you said, sometimes he would call me to his office when I was in high school because he had an air fryer and he would cook pork chops at his desk, and he knew you liked pork chops. I'm like, that is amazing. So just during the middle of the day, you get called in and your dad's slicing up some pork chops.
Oh, yeah. I think having my dad as a principal didn't really make my life any harder. It definitely enhanced it in ways. Yeah, those pork chops were crazy. I'd get a call. It'd always be from a class that I have like 100% in.
Yeah.
Because he's not gonna go mess with me if I'm like struggling in the class, which I didn't struggle a lot in high school, but he'd call me and be like, hey, come upstairs. Mentally, my heart drops. I'm like, all right, this could go one way or another.
Yeah.
And I get up there, I start smelling it. I'm like, oh, okay. This would be like right before lunchtime.
Yeah.
So like he wouldn't be taking me away from any academics. But yeah, man, be like, go grab a like a disposable little plate from the cafeteria and I'll give you one. I'll be all right,
Nice.
man.
Was this like an every week deal or once a month or a couple times a year? Pretty regular?
As far as like him bringing me out of class, that maybe only happened maybe like once or twice a semester. They're bringing me out of class. But when it was lunchtime, that happened maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Just because like it was cool. And then when I got my license and we had open lunch, that's when the tables turned. And he would text me and be like, yo, you going to Quiznos?
Bring me some.
I'll be like, Dad, come on. He'd be like, bring me an 8-inch sandwich. I'll be like, all right.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You also mentioned you get called to the principal's office in this interview because you are pretty fluent in Spanish.
Yes, sir.
Which I'll ask you about that in a second. But you would get called to the principal's office on occasion, not a lot, but to serve as an interpreter for parents of students who spoke Spanish and their kids were in the high school there speaking English. And then if they either had a discipline issue or some other issue that your dad would have to talk to the parents about, you were literally the go-between at times.
Yeah,
Talk me through that.
He basically told me that like I put you through this Spanish immersion school, you might as well use it. So he definitely tested my people skills, I think. And also, so like I'm still mainly an English speaker. So a lot of the time I'll have to really lock in and focus on what the people are saying in Spanish because sometimes words get a little mixed up. So I'll be staring at them, listening, trying to be all right. Give me a second. Let me tell this to my dad. And then, the parent would be sitting there waiting. I'd be like, all right, what do I say back? And when he'd tell me, then I'd be like, all right, cool. Now I got to translate this in my head and try to put in the right words. And like, I think the hard thing about that, like my Spanish is still like a little bit towards, sometimes it'll be English translated into Spanish.
Yeah.
To where that, the words are correct, but the wording isn't correct or the phrase. So luckily, a lot of the parents were very nice to me, and they took things a little bit slower as far as what I was saying.
But the communication was made. So you went to, when you were in elementary school, and there's these different subjects. Sometimes it's a science immersion course or a school. This was a Spanish immersion school?
Oh, yeah. So I went, kindergarten, maybe I started pre-K, actually. Pre-K until third grade, I went to Park Spanish Immersion in St. Louis Park. And then when my family kind of moved over to the Robbinsdale school area, then I went to 4th and 5th grade, I went to Robbinsdale Spanish Immersion. It was literally probably 75% Spanish. That's all we were talking. Other than, I'm trying to think what subjects weren't in Spanish. Maybe it's just English. Now I think about it.
Right.
But yeah, that was it. And then when I got to middle school, so I went to Plymouth Middle School, and we did 3 of your core courses were in Spanish. So social studies, it'd be social studies, reading, and science. So those classes, not only did you, it was still the regular science course that everyone else is taking, but you have to speak it in Spanish. And if the teacher catches you speaking in English, you'll get docked points for that.
Wow. So what was you just felt like you wanted to do that? Like, what was the reasoning for entering that school? You wanted to learn Spanish?
Yeah, I have no idea.
They just
I think
it's pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's awesome.
How it's changed your life in some ways, right?
I went to Puerto Rico with my girlfriend this past spring. And I felt like the coolest dude. Me and my girl haven't been together too long, so the fact that she can hear me talking in Spanish, she's like, "Oh my goodness!" So, that's been pretty cool. But as far as the decision point, actually, I never really asked my parents why we went. I think it might have just been, just the experience of being bilingual. And I think learning or 2 or more languages as a young child, I think definitely does something to the brain as far as
stimulate it and everything else.
Yeah, definitely with the cognitive abilities. So
yeah, totally agree. Well, that's pretty cool. And I'm also told that your dad is a big barbecue guy.
Oh yeah.
So tell me about does he have a smoker, a Traeger, whatever they call it, green egg or whatever it is?
No, he's got a big old 18-foot smoker.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I want to know what metal it's made out of. Probably steel. That thing's parked outside of somewhere on campus every weekend for the game. He starts smoking the day before. He's up all night checking it. This guy is invested, man. He's got spreadsheets. He helps run with the families here, and he's got spreadsheets for all the names who come in, who's cool. We got new guests, all this cool. He's been having
basically hosting this big tailgate party.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gotten pretty lit. He's been awesome about it. The Gears family have been amazing with it too.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
pretty sweet. I like that. I know years ago, Co Keefe, the tight end for the Gophers, who's now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his family would drive up from Iowa, and they would host these big tailgates for all the parents and stuff. So, and even my broadcast partner Daryl Thompson, I know you know who Daryl is, and your dad knows Daryl well. He talked about when he was playing here. Parents would get together and go to games together and tailgate or whatever, and that for a lot of those, that became lifelong friendships then after that. They didn't know who each other were until their sons were playing football together here at Minnesota. And then, your Christmas cards and now with social media, you can stay in touch with everybody. And, you make new friends when you're, in your 40s or whatever it is, and they become lifelong friends because their sons played football together.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what it's going to be. My dad loves every family member that's there, and I think they would say the same as well. But when you get over there after the game, they got a little bit extra food for the players. We come over, go chow down on some grub. We got all the families there. We got the Gears family with their little tiny dog, Miss Ophelia, walking around. It's a great vibe, and I think just being able to, whether win or lose, I still go over to that tailgate, and it's just the amount of respect and I think just the fact that the parents are there just makes a big difference, especially the parents that are from out of state, that really have to put in a little bit more effort to be able to come to the games has just shown a lot. And I think sometimes the players' parents don't really know how much that positively affects their kids.
Yeah, and when you're a college kid, you always when you live with your parents in your high school, it's probably like, yeah, it's fine. Dad's there, mom's there, whoever's there. But when you become a college kid and you're not around them every day, it's fun to hang out for a minute or two, right?
Man,
see them. It's important.
Yeah, man. I am at the point. I love seeing my parents as much as I can, especially Thursday nights. I go over. I got a late night class until like 7:20. Right after, I race back home on my scooter, drive my car with my dad's. We make what do we make? We make a New York strip, some mashed potatoes, some lettuce, and then he gives me a haircut. My dad's my barber too.
He's a principal, athletic director, coach, and a barber.
I haven't had my hair cut by anybody else in a long time.
That's great. That's great. He's a good stylist. It looks good too.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's as we wrap up here, and I'm keeping you a little longer than I promised, but this is great stuff. I know Gopher fans are going to enjoy listening here. Let's talk about the game this weekend.
Yes,
Iowa, Floyd of Rosedale's at stake. The last time the Gophers were down there, they won the game. I think that would have been, you were probably at LSU that year, right? That would have been 23. Last year, Gophers were up by 7 at half, and then they ended up, taking control of the game. So now, what do the Gophers have to do to go down there and get that pig back, do you think, Saturday?
Well, I think, from our defensive point of view, the first focus is stopping the run. That's it. And then, from there, then when it gets to our atlas, which is, our alignment, alignment, technique, language and listen, and then assignment, and then situation. So that's the first thing you think about right when you get on the field. Cool, I got the call, boom, now I got to do this. So being able to just have that process in your mind and being able to, put it all through your head efficiently and at a fast pace is definitely going to be a big factor in the game. Just like, hey, I know my job, I know my responsibility. Now it's time for me to, put these gloves on and start going to work. Because the reality is, like, that's just the type of game is. It's not just the fact that it's Iowa; it's another Big Ten opponent. Like that. This is where money is made. You got to play some big time ball here. So we're very excited about the challenge, and Iowa's an amazing opponent, and so we play them every year. We got to continue to do our process and do what Coach Fleck harps on, which is just being 1-0 every week. So.
You mentioned the practices. They've got that noise funneling in. I think it was similar with Ohio State. Do you think that the fact that you guys were at Ohio State a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, look, both those places are loud. Some would say Kinnick Stadium's the loudest. Some say Ohio Stadium. When we talked about even Huntington Bank Stadium's pretty loud. But do you think that experience on the road can help, just knowing that you guys have now been through the ringer from a crowd noise perspective and know how to communicate and do what you need to do?
Yeah, I think that's definitely helped us, and I think. As far as, I don't know what week we are. Are we in week 9?
Let's see, 5 and 2, 7 bye week. Yeah, probably week 8.
Okay, yeah, 8. Yeah. Like, as far as this far in the season now, you got to be able to just learn from every experience you've had, whether good or bad. Yes, we didn't win the game versus Ohio State, but we definitely found out a lot of things about ourselves and about, situational stuff and, like, your surroundings that, hey, like, it'll be loud, but also what am I looking at that's going to help me? Like, if I'm not looking at my 3-tech, when he's talking to me, how am I going to be able to hear him? So it's definitely a focus matter, I think, and just, it's going to be loud where we're playing at. Coach Fleck's got the music bumped up. He's got some sort of audio tape that's like yelling. It's not actually saying like mean things, but just like random things that like you're going to hear some stuff from those fans, best believe it. But just like you got to block out the noise, dog. Like this is you and the man in front of you playing some football. So I think definitely as far as the situation-wise, Coach Fleck's going to make sure to put us in the right position to, whatever we experience in practice, it's got to be louder than what we're going to experience on Saturday.
We talked about the Purdue quarterback, Brown, a couple weeks ago, and he was a little elusive. Is this Gronowski? Is he similar in terms of, I mean, he ran for like almost, over 100 yards against Penn State, and I know he hadn't done that before in terms of that many yards, but it looks like he can get around a little bit and use his legs. Mm-hmm. So does that experience with the Purdue guy help you a little bit, do you think, for Saturday too?
Yeah, I think that does help us, and just, he's a dynamic quarterback. He's good in the pass and the run game. Just being able to do our process, honestly, I think that's our biggest thing, and just realizing that, hey, like this is what the coaches are saying, and they're saying it for a reason. And so, we got to find different ways to eliminate him and the rest of their offense. And I just think, just doing what you got to do is going to be able to get us what we got to do.
Do you guys visualize taking that pick out of that stadium, or do you wait until the moment of truth?
I think so. I think, a cool thing that we've been able to do this week is that, yes, we know that that's what we're playing for, the Floyd of Rosedale, but in reality, like it's not even about that right now. Like I think it's been awesome to think about our focus is that we're just 1-0. Like this isn't about Iowa. This isn't about anything other than just us doing what we got to do. And so being able, like, cool, after a victory, we will be able to get the trophy, but it's not even about that, because I feel like that's a little bit more. It's something great to have, but that's not even the thought process yet. You can't get the pig without getting the win. You know what I mean? So that's all we're worried about is a win.
Well, very good. It'll be fun to watch. Let's go do it.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Very good. Thanks for coming on, man. It was great.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome.
It's been awesome.
Jaxon Howard with us. It's episode 193.
My thanks to Golden Gopher defensive end Jaxon Howard for spending time with us this week on the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm. I hope you enjoyed hearing that conversation as much as I enjoyed being a part of it. Episode 193 is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com. Cub is a proud supporter of Gopher Athletics for over 20 years and a proud sponsor of the Go Gopher Podcast. Cub, bigger savings on the items you love. Shop happy. Also, OnX Fish sponsors the show. Happy fishing from OnX Maps. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please right now click that subscribe button to the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to subscribe and free to listen at any time. And please share the link to the podcast with others so they can subscribe and listen as well. And if you enjoyed the podcast, please let us know with some positive feedback on your social media channels. We'll talk again next week.
Know what the happiest bird is? Chicken. Cub fried chicken. Wait, let me rephrase that. Know what bird makes people happiest? Cub fried chicken. Crispy, crunchy, juicy, perfectly seasoned. It's the kind of chicken that disappears faster than you can say, 8-piece, please. Or, let's be real, maybe 12-piece. Because when it comes to fried chicken, more just means more happy. So if you're shopping chicken, shop Cub fried chicken and shop happy.